Welcome back. WeArEuS, and this is... Oh, boy. It just, it just gets me a little moist just thinking about it. This is Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. Now, we aren't necessarily as righteous as we once used to be. We are now, in fact, well, for all intents and purposes, a Lich King. Now, I haven't made... Calm down. I haven't actually made the decision to make this final. However, it's, well, still, it is a toss-up between this and... What is it called? This and... What is the other one? The Trickster Mythic Path. But that is only because, well, wait, I think this should actually be with like this, right? It seems more appropriate. Yeah, so it's really just between this one and the Trickster Mythic Path, but you have to consider with the Trickster Mythic Path, there's a bit of a small issue. It's really just a tiny thing. I can't actually do all that much with this. Well, this path, the Lich path, is kind of, well, simple. You know pretty much everything you're going to be getting out of the path. And where is it? Here. Yeah, so you know pretty much everything you're getting out of the path. All of the Lich powers, all of those are very, well, look, we can't even actually get that many of them from this. But I did realize while going over them again, there are only actually 5 that are of any value to us with the way Morrow is right now. Right now, that is Deadly Magic, Death of Elements, the one we already have, Withering Life, and Magic Devourer. Indestructible Bones would be useful eventually, but those other ones take priority. Magic Devourer especially, and Death of Elements, which I did test. It actually does make your damage, as long as it has an energy type, your damage will actually become negative energy, which is fine. I did try to use it to heal the skeletal companion, but it doesn't work like that. He's actually just flat out immune to it. So the synergy that could have been there if you had taken, well, I don't remember the exact name of it, even though I just saw it a second ago, but if you had taken that one, you would have been able to... I did want to do that, but it's a little late now. Minute a level. These will last 6 minutes. 6 minutes. No, for 1 minute. So why not a medium? Choose water. Okay, so where was I? Right. So the ability, no, the Lich power that lets you convert any elemental damage into negative energy can't actually be used to heal your skeletal companion, which sucks. We can move. Oh, while I'm thinking about it, I did test Slumber and Deep Slumber together. good news. I now have the ability to attempt to put an enemy to sleep twice, which is very good. I actually put an enemy to sleep with with deep slumber, and then use slumber on them again. So that confirmed without question that we have the ability to use one or the other as a backup in case the opposite one fails, I suppose. This guy has -1 reflexes. Interesting. Wait, I actually want to see this entangled, unless they get the... Interesting. Where was I? I was talking about, right, slumber. But I think I covered that one pretty thoroughly, so... Wait. Activating the trap wasn't an actual standard action. How many times can I use it? Oh. Oh, honey. Oh, that's actually pretty good. I'd have to cast it again to switch it to the stalagmites? Stalactites are the ones from above. So yeah, stalagmites. Jeez. Anyway, back to the class that we're currently using. I haven't decided on... I need to heal this guy. Can't really do that though, so... Yeah, so I did a lot of testing.
I will see to your demise.
I did a lot of testing with the other classes. Why does he have 12 of these now? That's weird. So I did the testing. I checked all of the classes that interested me. Even Demon, which, surprise, surprise, wasn't very interesting. So it's definitely down to Lich and Trickster. Trickster I did go with. I tried the Murder Pony. Not as interesting as it sounded. Like, it was actually really bad.
The light, take you.
Shh, it's okay, it's okay. So I tried. My water elemental won't come with us. Good for him. So as I was saying, I did try the... Since the skeleton is giving us more carrying capacity, we'll take the extra stuff as well. At least within reason. Anyway, the Murder Pony was a complete joke. It had like, I think it was 15 HP. Did no damage, died in a single hit. I mean, at this point. I was sad beyond words, you know?
Close ranks.
Oh, I also did try a skeletal assassin, but he doesn't even have sneak. What is the point of an assassin that doesn't have sneak? He didn't have stealth. His stealth was at had a +8. You know what? I'm actually a little annoyed now. Who's this? Right here. Oh, there's one of those too, huh? No missing now.
You won't survive me.
Because you chose to make yourself a nuisance, I have to kill you. Yeah.
Just a little more.
Shoot, Babau's votary murderer. That doesn't sound safe. Should probably kill him. Dang. Did you just try to stick my horse in the butt?
Into the fray!
And now Regil is all the way up to 128 HP, which is just... oh, it's just the best.
Retreat is not an option.
While I'm thinking of it, I should probably let you guys know that I did get Regil. I spent their mastery points for this particular... let's call it a save. For this particular save. And I gave Regil Unstoppable, so now he can't be paralyzed anymore. He can't be sickened? I think there was something else, but whatever. Regardless, he's now more of a monster than ever before. The backpack stays in the back. You know what really bums me out? Well, I'll get to that in a bit. Yeah. Alright, so I spent all of their points. I gave Morrow, what was it, improved abundant casting, which gave him even more slots for, well, casting.
Endure this.
Why didn't he fire on this guy? Weird. Well, everyone's almost dead now. There's no point in me trying to summon anything. Well, I wasted that opportunity. It's my own fault. I need you to move up. Right, so, as I was saying, I gave Morrow improved abundant casting for more spell slots. I gave Lan exposed vulnerability or weakness, one of them. It just allows him to deal an extra bit of damage when he attacks the same enemy 3 times. And this should send you home. Who else is there? I gave Dayran abundant casting. What is her name? Ember abundant casting. And Seela, most interesting and importantly, I also gave her abundant casting, which gave her spell slots that she otherwise just wouldn't have been able to get for these. Most importantly, she now has Angelic Aspect, Archon's Aura, and just in case, remove blindness. She also has, well, more slots here, so I gave her Effortless Armor, 2 of those, and Aura of Greater Courage for immunity to fear. And also protection from evil communal, because why not? Naturally, I gave her a bunch more blessed weapons, because why not? And Divine Favor. Okay, now that that's been covered and taken care of, let's investigate this place more thoroughly. Make sure we don't miss any loot. So, as I was saying, I did spend a lot of time going over everything for each of the 3 mythic paths that I was considering. Unfortunately, the Azada mythic path isn't very deep. I guess you could say. So that's one of the reasons why it's, at the bottom of the list. The Trickster path, looking at it, granted, I was excited about how all of the abilities had, well, not abilities, but how all of the, what were they called? Is it, what the, what are they? Yeah, skills. So I really do like how all of these skills gain these bonus effects that allow you to do things like see invisibility and so on. Unfortunately, at least for the way Morrow is right now, in this particular playthrough, it's not really... Yeah, why not? It's not all of them are as useful as they otherwise would be. I wonder what's out here. Oh dear.
We march ahead.
That seems a little risky. What am I looking at here? Omox Befouler. And Omox, an evil outsider with very little health, who's flat-footed and... Wait, it said he's immune to crits. Wait, that's not what I wanted. What did you do to my beautiful... Where are you going, my good sir? Why does it look like everyone is caked in filth, but there's no... Maybe it's explained here.
Do not hold back.
Can't be put to sleep, that's very good to know. Can't be polymorph, which is liquid leap. Okay. As an attack option, no, that's not what he did. Demon of Slaughter, good for you. But there's no explanation for why everyone looks greasy. We cannot let this guy use acid fog. I think he has to die first, right? He's got some slight energy resistance, but nothing...
Strike as one.
Nothing particularly important. 18 charisma, so yeah. We're better off just actually going for the kill in this particular instance. We can grease this guy up, though. Instead... No one's missing health, so we'll go with this. Oh, I really can't abuse these, can I? No, we cannot. I think we actually need him here, don't we?
This one's mine.
There are 2 Omoxes. Oh, that's spectacularly bad. Unfortunately, the goddamn things are... There we go. Let's go with this.
The light take you!
I guess it's just a cosmetic effect, which is weird because no one back here was touched by any of them, but whatever.
Make every strike count.
That's 1 down. Who is that? Backpack? No. They have spell resistance. Can't be put to sleep. Right, so I took a look at the other classes. The Trickster Path. Well, thank you for that, you big idiot. Now everyone's slowed. Which is a massive debuff, so now I have to do this. Good enough. Let's see. Yeah. So, who's Regil looking at?
Press the attack.
He whiffed it. Didn't whiff that one, though. Like, since when? Why is Vital Strike on here twice? Okay. That's improved Vital Strike. Understood. Still weird, but I get it.
Into the fray!
Because he's slowed, he doesn't get more attacks. Great.
Forgive me for this failure.
Okay. Instead,
Retreat is not an option.
so the entire point of this is for me to just see how good or bad it actually is to play with as the Lich Mythic Path. I'm probably just going to be testing it for this one playthrough and then hopefully making a final decision, because I spent about 4 hours trying to decide just to do this, just to do it this way. I still haven't actually made up my mind. Because I mean, I like the idea of playing as a Lich, because I ordinarily wouldn't have done it. Backpack doesn't get to do anything. Yeah, so I ordinarily wouldn't even do it, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to, at least for this one episode. But to be perfectly honest, it is... The Skeletal Executioner is rather underwhelming, has very low HP, is hard to take care of. If he dies, you can't actually res him through normal means. You'd have to use one of Tarindalev's scales. Not really. I don't intend to actually do that ever. It's... I mean, it's got some cool things going for it. But that's really where it all ends. It's just cool, and that's about it. Not really a fan, you know? Maybe there's more to it in the long run, but as things stand, the Trickster Path at least has the illusion of depth in that the changes it makes to skills, or the bonus effects you get from them based on what you've chosen, at least that has some depth to it and is interesting.
Our path leads on.
Whereas with the Lich Path, it's just not as interesting. The Skeletal Executioner. Hold on. The Skeletal Executioner succeeded. It's got a perception of 15. Yeah, so basically the Skeletal Executioner, he's not suffering from slow anymore. Okay, excuse me then. Probably because of freedom of movement, so yeah. But basically, these stats are the exact same as they would be if you had chosen an assassin, a skeletal assassin. That's what they're called. Now, the skeletal assassin was interesting. I gave it... What were they? I gave it 2 interesting weapons. This one, the Scimitar of Wind, which has thundering, which allows it to deal a second hit of damage when the weapon itself actually hits the target. And this effect here doesn't actually do anything for it, which sucks. But that's just for like right now. Apparently you can evolve the Skeletal Companion later. I think it'll take another one. Hold on, we can actually just check right now. Yeah. With our next mythic point, we get to upgrade the skeleton. So, there's that. That is one of the other points I'd like to make. This actually makes the Lich Path more interesting than even the Lich powers do. You can only select 2 more after this, and it's not really that good. But that's only because there are so many of them that are actually really good. Okay. Again, the only other issue that I have with the Lich Path is that pretty much everyone but Regil hates it, which you can't really blame them. But most importantly, Ember wasn't really a fan of it, which hurts my heart. Where was I? Right. So I gave the bit my tongue. I gave the Skeletal Assassin the Scimitar of Wind and Pretty sure it was this. The Vicious Hand Axe, which allows it to do... Is it this one or was it... Yeah. So, basically, this weapon deals an extra 2 to 12 points of damage to the target and a negligible amount to the wielder when it lands. But so does the... Well, the Scimitar Wind does pretty much the same thing without doing any of that damage to yourself. So it's basically, if he lands, he can only do 3 hits as a part of a full attack. But he can technically, with 2 weapons that operate like this, deal, 6 hits? Technically, deal 6 hits. So, wait, I do want to check this first. At the 9th level, this also summons the Lila Azada and 2 Braylani Azadas. So yeah, the way I've chosen to advance Morrow presently, I'm always considering tweaking things. But the way I'm advancing this is so terrible. Is this even in... Nope. Anyway, the way I'm considering moving him along from just this point, just as a test, is that we're going to wait, what was the weapon we got? I'm basically going to make him a Lord Summoner. At present, he's able to summon a grand total of 4, 5, 7, and the mandatory 1 elementals. That's the word I was looking for. I had at first done it because I was hoping that his elemental ascendants would trickle down to them, allowing them to penetrate enemies, not their damage reduction, but their energy resistance and immunities as well, which I doubt is the case, but oh, if only. Maybe there's a class that lets you do that. I was supposed to be looking for the sword, which is undoubtedly nothing special. Seeing as, there it is. It's just a longsword +1. Boring. I was actually really surprised to find out that I had 2 two-handed weapons. There's the Mace of Tyranny? I don't remember what the first word is. It's something of tyranny. Or is it tyranny of mind? Pretty sure that's what it is. Which, actually, we should try switching to that. He did terribly with this 2-handed sword he has. He being the skeleton, who I can't really heal, even though he severely needs it. God dang it. Where is it? Here, then that's how you swap. So, we go... Actually,
Skip the pleasantries.
do this. And Morrow's fine now, so we need Skeletor. Suppose I could just put these on his bar. That is terrible. It's terrible value. Healing your undead minions makes the skeletal, the Lich Mythic Path much more unappealing than you would think. Unless you've been prepping for this the entire way and you didn't just decide to do it on a whim like I did. If you've been preparing for it the entire time, it's going to be a lot less awful for you. But in my case, not so good. Now, one of the things that's working against the... Where the frick does this go? Citadel's command. What about this?
Guide us.
Tower. Let's do this first. So, one of the things working against the Trickster Mythic Path is that you don't get You don't get a companion. What kind of garbage is that? You don't get a companion with the... Everyone else gets one. Well, except for the demon and the angel, but those suck just straight up. So...
Godspeed.
Tower Summit. What are these purple rocks and why? So that's one of the only things actually I have against the Trickster Mythic Path, which saddens me greatly because otherwise it is just great. Yeah, the mace's name is Tyranny of Mind, though I don't know why it's comparing it with Skeletor's weapon. Hold on. Okay. Where was I? Tyranny of Mind. Right, So I really do like the Trickster Path. That just feels like the natural progression of things for me in particular. Though it may not actually be as good for Morrow as where his build is concerned, being a sorcerer and all. Come on. Hey, so which way are we supposed to go? Command or the tower? Let's find out carefully, shall we? Where are we and why? Well, this is about as awkward as one could have expected. Haha! Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the stuff. Is this any good? Oh yeah, shoot all of that directly into my inventory. How dare you? What are these? Colossus Marauders? What the frick? They're outsiders. Can I get a look at these? Like insect. They're literally insect people. At least they're not spiders. That would have been gross. But what the frick are these doing here? I imagine these are like... Yeah, these have to be demons, right? Like demon... I don't want to say adjacent. That's... makes them sound far removed from them. Well, to a degree. So they're just another version of demons, then. That are humanoid. Great, because we totally needed that. Mind fog itself isn't all that bad. Does the mind fog count as poison? Frankly, only her and Morrow are affected by it. Still not a fan, you know? I don't need freedom of movement. What I want is to see... Wait. Someone else has Mind Fog as a spell. Pretty sure it's Morrow, right? Mind Fog. Also, this probably explains why the casting of grease fails on occasion, because this is being used from here. So yeah. However, that also means we get a lot of uses of grease. Unfortunately, they have a 5% chance to fail as a result of their armor, the armor we're equipping. What do we do here? Right, I was looking for Fog of Mind and got distracted. Looks like we don't have it, which is fine. What's not fine is only having one spell slot here when there are so many good spells. Haste, Mastery of Flesh. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. I was looking for Mind Fog, but no one has it, so I can't see what its descriptors are. Whatever, that's fine. Now, I do like the Azada path. Don't get me wrong about that one. I do actually like it. I just don't think that it's as good as the Lich path and, what is it? The Trickster path. Those are actually really, they at least sound really interesting. Now, I think I can remove this Bank of Fog with Ember, but that's taking a risk. So now she has Angelic Aspect active. This guy appears to be looking at our Skeleton Executioner. Yeah.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
And whiffed the last shot. Good job. They have spell resistance, so that's something I need to keep in mind. However, they can all be put to sleep, which is super convenient. What's their willpower? 17. 10. Oh, this guy. Okay, that went about as good for him as it possibly could have. So there's that at least. We can still put him to sleep. $200. Let's go ahead and do this. Take it a little seriously.
This one's mine.
He only hit him twice and reduced him to nearly half health. You know, by the time these elementals actually get to do anything, the entire purpose of their existence will be moot. So let's get this guy in here. Now, the Fallen is a ghost, which means he can't be hit by anything but magical weapons and probably something like cold iron. I don't know, because I can't click on the guy, so that's where we are. Regardless, that'll do it for our turn right after we do this. Okay. Whatever. Okay, so unexpected. I didn't expect the Fallen to get his turn immediately. Skeletal Executioner will now be fighting defensively for the Nope, not remainder. For the foreseeable future. That's the word we're looking for. We like that. Hit him. 29. Well, at least it's a number. He cast Haste on the Marauder. Not a fan of that. Well, Morrow has gone insane. Insanity is a negative condition similar to confusion that has an infinite duration. An insane creature can't tell a friend from an enemy. It'll attack the last creature that attacked it until either it dies or disappears from sight. Great! Insanity cannot be removed except by powerful spells such as Heal and Greater Restoration, because of course not. Backpack is probably insane too. That's super fun. Do I have anything? Nah.
Survive me.
My God. The only question I have is if he could have missed any harder.
Press it.
Okay. Ah, because he only took their temporary HP. That explains it.
No glory without risk.
Endure this.
Okay. Let's see. We need.
This war must end. You're a good person. I like you.
Yeah, I don't like this. Well, there's that. Who's got the highest religion?
We'll make
You.
things right.
We have. It's probably disease. We have removed disease on you. Why? Oh, because he rolled about as low as he possibly could have. Constitution damage is permanent. So is he still insane or not? Oh, he appears to be okay. Let's make sure. Yep. They didn't drop anything, but the stuff we managed to take from the box. Head Cracker. A light mace. Whenever the wielder of this +2 mithril light mace lands the first hit on a new target, the enemy has to pass a fortitude saving throw with a difficulty class of 15 or become stunned for 1 to 2 rounds. 1 to 3. My mistake. Not that good, really. Certainly not worth the headache we had getting it. But what can you do? Votaries should have. Nope. Those are junk too. Weird. You can never be too sure, that's why I'm checking. How are everyone's buffs looking? Still tanked to the T. It's perfectly fine. Everyone's health is in order except for Skeletor, but that's a separate issue entirely.
No reason to pause.
She's still got the angelic aspect for another 5 minutes. That only lasts 1. Why not? You know, just so we're clear, I did try healing the skeleton using damage undead. Shut up, don't Don't even say it, don't even think it. I did try to heal him with it. Turns out it doesn't work like that. Surprise, surprise. I actually think we should give this to... Frick. Where is... Nice. Oh, right, yeah, we can go up this way now. Just thinking about having to do all of this again with the other two paths just to test them out and see how they feel overall. I hate it, but I don't. I guess that's just how it is when a game is good.
We march ahead.
Indeed we do. Okay. Guy sort of just came out of nowhere at us, but that's fine, I suppose. For the temporary HP, because he's going in.
It is not an option.
Although I can't heal this guy, so he can't actually get that temporary HP. And if he's too close to that guy and gets his attention, oh, that's all sorts of bad. So I mean, we'll move him here, but backpack, stay back there. We have to grease this up. Actually, we can put it here. Next turn. We can put it there next turn. Actually, we can't put him to sleep this turn because she's too far back. Ah, good. He's in position. Can't cast anything else. Not a fan of having Sela and Mr. Ed up there, but better check Kalavakas before we go up. Thanks to angelic aspect, her weapon is considered good aligned, so that's fine.
Into the fray!
Just a little bit further. Right? Oh, Regil's literally under Mr. Ed. See? Not a fan. We should have had Land move up further on his last turn.
Kneel before me.
Well. I don't understand. Why can't he use this? Yeah, there's literally no good explanation for why he can't use this. Why? Put him off to the side. Because if he gets killed, there's literally nothing we can do. Grease. Face down. Okay, we have 3 archers, but most importantly, we need to take care of this guy. Since we have to move up anyway. Actually, let's put him off to the side a little. Okay. Doesn't really matter. What else is with that one? Weird. Why is this one a standard action, but this is a full round? Probably because it's been changed with meta magic? That's the only thing I can think of that would explain it. Yeah, that works.
The inheritor, guide my blade.
Yeah, we like that.
To the end.
Let's move him forward a little.
This one's mine.
Yeah, that'll have to do. Can only get 2, so we'll take it. And unless he falls on his face. This guy's getting his turn next. But what if he didn't? What if we put her here? Yeah, I think that's okay.
The light take you.
Oh, he's up. Don't like that. He needs to move further up.
the attack!
He literally rolled a 1. Ah, that's fine. We have enough temporary HP to cover that.
You crossed the wrong mongrel.
Oh! Sounded surprised. What if, just saying, what if you went to sleep? Almost. Not even close. He rolled a freaking 18 out of 20, which means he's got some extra bonuses working for him.
Into the fray.
Okay. And this one.
Retreat is not an option.
What is Skeletor actually using? Not using. What are his... He has no traits. Okay, let's quickly
I will see this through.
do away with the grease. Right, he didn't get to cast the other one because he ended up face down. So what's up here? I have no way to heal Skeletor, and he's in a really bad spot. Everyone's walking, which they shouldn't be. What put us over? I'm sad. But naturally, I only dropped the lowest, one of lowest value. Wait, there's another door? Looks like Land's buffs wore off.
Is restless.
He's still got heroism.
I welcome
This.
your company.
What else? Since everyone seems to be keeping an eyeball on Morrow, and we'll use Bless too. Better check Mr. Ed while I'm thinking about it. This, because why not? Sure, why not? Protection from... This one's evil. God dang it. Oh, I see what happened here. It's... yeah. So, this one. Frankly, I could just do it like this. And chaos, because why the frig not? I'll leave this one here, but... who? I guess. There's Skeletor. I have literally nothing to heal him with. I'm so poorly prepared for this.
Trust in yourself.
Oh, I do have it. Yeah, I don't have anything. Well, what can you do?
Always be ready for the
God.
worst.
Well, we definitely saw that. I'll tell you what. How about we do this?
Doubt is the heart's greatest challenge.
Looks like he has a line of sight already.
Rely on me.
We must stop this war.
Are we in
There's
trouble
no hope.
yet?
Only us. The gods have abandoned.
A bright
was I saying
future
just now?
awaits us.
Wanna play together?
Should we proceed?
I will help where I can.
God dang it.
Lead on.
So, we're just... So this is just where we're going to...
Let's run, sweetie. Let's go. Why are you so slow? They're almost here.
I'm not going anywhere.
The dwarf's cracked voice sounds like rasping, rusty metal.
Don't you feel it? He's got that damn rag with him. I can't teleport. He's going to kill us.
Oh yes, if I get the opportunity, you are both going to die.
If he kills us, then so be it. But this is my city, and I will fight for it to the end. And you, my love, you will be with me to the end.
Staunton grasps the chin of the demoness, sinking his nails into her tender skin, and pulls her face toward his, kissing her lips quickly before pushing her away.
Hello, Minago. Greetings, Mr. Misery Guts. It's us again.
Ah, I see you have quite a gathering of cowards and traitors here. Even Nara showed up.
You think I'd miss the chance to see Staunton wipe that grin off your smug face? For years, you self-appointed champions of good have treated us like dirt beneath your feet. If the demons will help us get our revenge, then we're with the demons.
Who is this us? Hey, Nago, what's that on your face?
That's not your concern, mortal.
The Master has punished her cruelly for her failure in Canabras. As you can see, the leaders of the demons are as patient with their slaves as the Crusaders are with their commanders.
A crooked smirk crosses the dwarf's face.
Sweetie, why are you telling him this? What does it matter? What?
Quiet.
Staunton's voice holds no emotion whatsoever, except perhaps weariness. The word that fell from his lips barely echoes, but nonetheless the demon immediately falls silent. Minago, aren't you getting tired of running? Oh, your legs are so thin. It won't carry you very much further.
You have no idea how tired I am of you, mortal. But never mind. Today, we will finally be done with you. Right, Staunton? Right, sweetie?
You know, I once heard a peasant trying to convince his sick sheep to overcome her constipation and share her impacted torrent of crap with the rest of the world. The sheep was obviously very dear to the peasant, and he cooed and called her lambkin and darling as he described the process in graphic detail, apparently to inspire the beast. Well, listening to that wasn't half as stomach-churning as listening to your filthy demon mouth spewing honeys and sweeties all over the place. Ugh.
He's got a point. You seem to enjoy blaming others for your problems, Staunton, but you alone have forged your destiny and become a traitor. Twice over.
Of course. I regret nothing. And I'm ready to pay my dues. What about you? Are you ready to pay for everything you've done in the name of your pathetic queen?
I'm just waiting for someone to make me.
Not everyone here is fighting for Mendev and its queen, fallen paladin. When you crossed to the demon side, you betrayed all mortal kind. And for that, you must pay.
Time for you to lay down, Staunton. All of that labored breathing is done.
Right. No point in wasting time talking. To arms!
Staunton, darling.
Stop whining! Didn't you swear your eternal love to me? Promised we'd rule Dresden together? Now shut your lying mouth and fight! Whatever end fate has in store for me, you will share it!
Battle formation.
Nav, Orma, Efna.
Does Sela still have... Yeah, she does. But she's also fatigued. No good. I think she's the one that has to go first. She is level 20 freaking 8.
No glory without risk.
His willpower is 16, hers is 24. I don't know about Nara because she's invisible. So much fun. Actually, we can do something about that right now. She's got a willpower of 14, can't be petrified, is immune to ability score damage, drain, death, petrified, whatever. I'm thinking I'm just going to leave Skeletor right here. Unless we can get him a potion. Nope, we can't use scrolls. Not yet, anyway. Vanish, protection from good. mean, I suppose this could work, right? Magic weapon. I didn't check Minago and Staunton's immunities. Yeah. Immune to all manner of dominates, but not command. Interesting enough. And of course, all of them have their feet planted firmly on the ground. Why can he not use items in combat? It doesn't make any sense. He can use them outside. It just doesn't make any sense. May as well go with prayer. We'll have to move him up, huh? Let's get everyone spread out. Minago does some serious damage, and we don't want everyone catching that.
Attack!
Dexterity's her weakness.
We shall overcome.
Dexterity's his weakness.
Do not hold back.
Strength is hers, so we need to swap him. Yes. But, unfortunately, we actually need to do this with his turn. I think we'll put it... Yeah. Right, he's blind, so he's... Okay, that's very good, actually.
You won't survive me.
Okay. Not a fan of that business. And we only have 10 minutes to actually get this done. I didn't actually save either. Oh. That's the way it goes sometimes. Is she... Yes, Smite Evil.
The inheritor, guide my blade.
Kneel before me.
I may have to turn off power attack for that. Good. That's one less problem. I wonder if Skeletor could kill her. Oh, it was worth a try. Yeah, everyone already has Bless. I don't think there's anything else he can do. Gil could use some healing. Let's make sure he's in range.
There was a flaw in our tactics.
Really now?
Endure this.
What? I'm confused here. What? Saving throw against what? Phantasmal putrefaction. Okay. He rolled a 4 and still got out. There's no way that would work on her. Regil is in a bit of trouble. Okay. She's got spell resistance, which is significantly higher than I was expecting. Looks like we don't actually get the victory on this one. Not this time, anyway. See, I'm just not sold on the Lich path. It's extremely reliant on the... Ooh, Skeletor's dead too, isn't he? Yeah, can't help him. It's extremely reliant on... how do I put it? It's extremely reliant on your skeletal companion being useful and being attached to your mythic levels rather than your character levels is really bad. Even if I manage to put Staunton Vane to sleep, the water elemental is just going to attack him. That's not good. What to do and how. Well, I have no idea. Nothing I can think of is actually going to work, so... So yeah, I totally have the ability, I forgot to mention that. I do have the ability to res people now. But, you know, actual people, not the undead. It doesn't work on them. I could have gotten the ability to res anyone. Huh. Now that I think about it, I probably should have gone for that one. Anyway. She stands up, she dies. She stays on the floor, she dies. It's not a really good day for Seela. Ah, he's got a reach weapon. That would explain it. Yeah. So, this is probably going to be doing it for us, but I hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves and everything you've seen here today. I don't think I really got to finish going over everything that I had intended to do, but... And there goes our healer. Absolutely, unequivocally dead. And there goes our horse. Absolutely, unequivocally dead. Well... And so with all that said, we'll see you next time.